Welcome to My Designed Life.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the Wholepreneur Summit, where we've brought experts from all over the world to support your mind, body, spirit, and business. In today's workshop, we are going to look at marketing, the thing we all know we need, but spin our wheels trying to figure out. Now, my guest today guides entrepreneurs into being deliberate designers of their business. So it's not about finding hacks or repeating her blueprint. It's about building a plan that fits around your uniqueness and passion that comes together to feel authentic and build an audience that resonates with you. So join me in welcoming Prati Kaufman. Hi, Prati.
Hi, Tanya. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. Where are you joining us from today?
West Hartford, Connecticut, and it's supposed to snow here tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Believe it or not, so.
I'm so confused by actual weather. So as a California girl living in Czech, it's been really sunny, and then the other day it snowed, and I'm like, this doesn't happen in California. I don't understand this. So it's so interesting for me to hear April's basically summer in California. So I'm like, snow in April, what are we doing? But today,
Yes.
So today that we are talking about marketing, and it is such a huge term. We have a joke around our house where, people think, you're just like typing on a computer, like I'm marketing right now. Like it's such a huge term. So can you just break down, what are you going to guide us through today?
So I don't believe in, like you said, any of the hacks, or I don't have blueprints which everybody can follow and make six figures tomorrow, or 90-day plan, or I just don't believe in it. I think marketing is so personal, so I talk about the energy of marketing. So I'm a marketing energy coach. And what that really means is, where is this marketing coming from? Are you doing it because from a pressure point, like, oh, everybody's told you to do this, so I have to do like all this, and then you're exhausted? Or you're doing it from a place which feels good to you, like you want to share this, whatever you have, or your product and services, you're excited about it, And so that's what I really kind of tap into when I'm working with my clients.
Yeah, I love that. See, that is so amazing, because that is such a thing. We see these blueprints, we see these hacks. Just do my method. I love that you said, six figures tomorrow, because that's a real thing, guys. If you haven't seen that, and I'm sure you have, if you're showing up this episode, you're looking for marketing, you have heard all of these different promises and ways to follow. And they may be things that feel uncomfortable, complicated, you just don't like doing. There are even some levels of tactics that may feel icky doing, and that doesn't make your business fun. Like for you, I'm sure it's not something you look forward to. So I love this idea of the energy of marketing, because that is so important. If you're going to succeed in your business, how do you feel doing these things? And that's another thing. A lot of people just hate marketing because of that. They're like, I just don't even want to deal with it because it's all this like stuff or funnels or things I have to figure out. And I think now there's so much shift going on in marketing as we're going through this pandemic, that there's so many voices coming out, and there's a bit of a panic of, how do I talk now? What do I say? Should I even sell in the middle of this? What do I do? So this is a perfect time for us to talk about that marketing energy.
Yeah, and I like we all are. I'm so aware of marketing, but when that happened, like there was so many invites on the virtual things, right? Do this, do that, the mass party and this party and that party, and I just got caught up in this wave of just showing up virtually, and I realized it was exhausting.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I was enjoying doing it all the time. So it's marketing, but I had to take a step back and say, is that truly I want to do like 5 virtual meetings every day, or just show up? So that's really important. Like what I talk about marketing is, let's say you hate Instagram, then don't be on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just because somebody has said that you have to be on Instagram, that everybody's clamors around it, then don't be on Instagram. Are you better at offline or that online? Then you know what? Again, it's COVID-19. I know it's throwing a wrench in our in-person meetings, but it's not going to be forever. Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay to not show virtually if that's not your, if that's not how you roll, right? Then don't roll with it, There's other ways, because at the end of the day, what brings us business is when we are totally showing up authentically in this space. But if it's uncomfortable, we are going to put up somebody, we're going to pretend to be somebody we are not, and people feel that. And then guess what? It's
Yeah.
not going to resonate with your audience, and it's not going to work. So,
because you're going through the motions. You're just kind of
yes,
go, because somebody told you that Instagram is great for business, or somebody told you that Twitter is where you need to be, or Facebook's where you're Pinterest. And there's truth. There is truth that can be there. Absolutely. But again, the way you feel in your business, that comes through in everything as well. Like, I love that you said that. I love that you just gave us all permission to just not be there.
yeah. No, I think it's so important. And another, like somebody wrote somewhere, I read, what makes you think if somebody didn't buy from you up until now that they're just going to buy from you because COVID-19 happened, right? It's not going to happen. So don't go running after a different audience, or don't change your offers, don't, everything is so many things free. I'm like, even if it's free, I can't do all of it. Like, just offering free stuff is not going to bring you clients, So
Yes.
be very conscious of, what are you doing it from a panic mode? I just put a post, if you're doing it from a panic mode, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work unless you're doing it from a place of, is it truly, is this the time I actually wanted to, like, I've been thinking about my business differently. It's given me a chance to really sit back and look at my business. And am I changing the model long term or short term? Short term, 3 months, if you change something, and then what?
Right. So if you pivot right now in reaction to what's going on in the world, which is what most people are screaming that you need to do, we got to pivot, we got to change. And yes, we need to look at the times, and eventually there's times to adapt. Like if you were, perhaps doing auto dialers and, direct mail. Yes, we're in a technology age. Maybe there's a time to move over, but to pivot so quickly. And I love what you said. Is it just for, is it 3 months, 6 months? However long this may go, it's not forever. And so what is the benefit of you trying to change over your whole business to adapt for 3 months of change? And that question, are you doing it from a place of panic? Or is it from a place where you're really stepping back and going, this is the best choice for my business? So, and that panic comes from fear, and that's what a lot of us, I think, are existing in, and the unknown, and trying to navigate it, but perhaps taking a step back is a better place for us to come from when we're looking at what we're going to do to market.
Yeah, and I'm glad you talked about fear, because that's one of the things I do. How do you see, I talk about energy. Fear is an energy, okay? You're scared, there's an energy. Now, how do you lean into it? Because amazing stuff happens when you lean into the fear, when you experience it fully. So another thing, if somebody's, you're feeling fear, sit in it and ask, why am I feeling this? What is happening here? What is it trying to teach me? Because sometimes the best ideas come from that place of fear, and a new idea come in when you just sit in it, not react to it. You don't try to do something about it. I'm feeling fearful, so now I have to listen to all the positive talks and just shift my fear from this positive, amazing thinking, place. Like, no, just be in it. Every emotion we feel is beautiful. It is really here to serve us. There's not a single emotion which is not serving us. So that's another thing. We gotta learn to lean into it and not run away when so-called negative emotions happen, because we cover it up, and we keep moving forward. We cover it up. We never ever pause to process that. Where is this coming from? How is it? Like, what are the things? Like, is it really serving me right now? Okay, feeling this fear is great. Now, what do I need to do, to help turn this energy to help my business move forward? Every entrepreneur on this earth is working with fear. There's not a single one which is not working with fear. But what they do is they work with fear. They don't let the fear drive them to make decisions that are not right for them in long term. If that makes sense.
Yes. Well, and I hear it, because if we're feeling the fear, we're sitting with it for a little bit, and then, like you said, making a decision. Or if we're feeling the fear and then making a business decision. So let's say we're like, oh my gosh, here's this pandemic. everyone's going online. Oh my God, I'm feeling crazy. So you know what I should do? I should do this. And then you just make a choice, you do something, and that shifts you for a little bit, but maybe away from the fear. Like you said, you're kind of just covering it up by doing it. So literally that decision was rooted in fear. You made that decision not by looking back and saying, okay, so what is the best for my business? You made that decision to get out of that feeling, because now you feel, because what's going to happen is you feel like you're doing something else. So then you feel like you're okay. You're like, okay, well now I'm doing something else, so that I'm pivoting. So that's okay. But it's really, again, still based in fear. So now we're making business decisions, potentially huge business decisions, based out of a feeling or trying to cover up or run away from a feeling. And so what you're saying is, if we can sit with it a little bit, we can actually embrace it almost, we'll be able to make better decisions, because we'll feel it, we'll look at it, see what it is, and then we can move from it, as opposed to making decisions from it.
Yes, because as humans, we are programmed to take action when we feel negative, because we are taught you need to be positive and you need to be in this space, and you feel gratitude. No, so there were days when I'm not going to feel gratitude for anything in this time, and that's okay. Like, I don't have to be in this, oh my God, I'm so grateful for life. No, I'm stuck at home. I haven't been out, and sometimes there's no gratitude. It's hard to feel that gratitude. And then, the forcing myself to feel the gratitude, I still have that little bit of like, but I'm not really in sync with my gratitude. So, it's okay to sit and just be, mad about the world or angry about the world, And I think once you come out of it, it's so much more, you come such a lighter version of yourself. You come as like, okay, I've lived this fear and I'm okay with it, Now when you make a decision, it's never going to be this temporary solution. Like, when we are mad, why do overeating happens? Like, we overeat when, we are feeling emotions, because that's how we just want to feel good. We have maybe,
you're trying to get out
a
of that
little
feeling.
ice cream, and the sugar will give you a rush, have coffee, or maybe have a couple of drinks. So this is all kind of tactics where we just don't want to face something, or we'll work out for 2 hours, just to get out of it. Like, so we are physically exhausted, but again, then it doesn't serve for long term. It's good for short term. So
yeah,
that's what the marketing is all about. Do your own thing, feel your message, like really understand you. Who do you want to attract? Like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Okay, you don't want this, but what is it you truly want your business to look like? What is it you're looking to gain out of this business? It's okay to admit it's money. You know what? We all need money to live, but what are you going to do with that money? Like, what is it? At the end of the day, we're also looking, what will money create for us in business? So a lot of things, I feel like you hit a success, like, you're really good, you're doing business, you've reached a really good, place. And then a lot of our clients I work with, they go into this, oh my God, now it's going good, so something bad is going to happen. So it's almost like they deliberately go out of their way for bad to happen so that they can deal with it and move on. So another thing about energy is, the more good happens, the more good will happen.
Okay.
But you're going to trust that. Sometimes things don't look what they are, but they are actually, whenever. So this is my spiritual side, right? Because I really believe that everything is working towards, getting you what you really desire. So once decide what you desire, it's okay even if you don't know, because then you will get what you don't want, and then you will be clear on what you want. Then that's okay. So whatever you don't want, it's just a way to get you to what you want. So don't panic when you get what you don't want, because you were not clear about what you want. So it's a universe way of getting clarity in you, and then lean into it. Expect the good, because it is really true. Like, everything is happening to get you to where you want to go. And there's nothing out of place in this world of yours. It's perfect.
Yeah. Tony Robbins always says, and I don't know if it's him or he's quoting someone else, but he says, everything happens for you, not to you.
Yes.
And so I'm hearing in that is, even when the things we're finding ourselves getting the things that we don't want, when we're not able to be clear, we're like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. And then we get something, we're like, well, I definitely know this is not what I wanted. think what Prati's saying is that can actually be a good thing. We can shift our mindset to see that as a good thing and go, well, good. That means I'm getting clear on what I do want by recognizing this thing that I was given that I don't want. So if you're kind of listlessly working through things and you're like, well, I tried this and I don't like it. That's okay. That's an okay place to be. And Ray Dalio, who is the author of Principles, he wrote that as well, that, failure is the catalyst, and failure is a strong word, but we just use it for the fact that this is his quote. Failure is the catalyst for his success. And he says he really, truly, not just in some lofty quote sounding nice way, but he truly embraces failure, because every time he sees it, he knows that he can learn something, and that's where he hits his next success. And he says that a lot of time for him, his belief is that a success is a spiral, not down, but a spiral that goes like this. So he starts to go up, he starts to hit success, and then he hits a failure, then he learns, and then he goes up again. And so it continually goes up, but there's always these little loop-de-loops. And he honestly has this mindset where he looks at failure as a wonderful thing. He's like, I want that because I know that's going to be the thing that I get through, that I learn, so I can go forward. And he's always continually going up. There's just these little loopy things that come down. And so it's kind of similar to what you're saying, is that, we have these things. We don't have to see them as negative. And I also love that you brought up that we don't need to be positive all the time. I see that a lot, a lot of the business, posts on Instagram, and the kind of rant like everyone's always so positive and so happy and so grateful for everything. And I guess the question I think people might have is, how do we find the balance so we don't stay there? So if we're given permission to go, you know what, sometimes you can just be there and be like, it's not fun and I don't get to go outside, but there's still this voice that's saying, is like, well, eventually we need to be okay with it. Where does that line happen? Do you have any advice for kind of?
Yes. So don't make decisions during that time. That's it.
Okay.
Just sit in it, right? The thing is, these things drive us to make decisions. That's when the problem, I think, the shift is too quick sometimes, you're just shifting, not processing it. So best thing to do when those feelings come, to sit in it, sleep.
Yeah.
Just take a nap. Go, take a nap. You can take a walk. Don't rush into talking to people and decision making, because trust me, it will get itself out. The whole thing is not effortless. I love helping my clients to make their marketing effortless. It just flows out of you. It doesn't need to be this work or this whole thing I have to work 80 hours of, we entrepreneurs take so much pride into working. So all these things, when these happen, we work harder. Just sit in it. It's okay to sit in it. Don't make decisions. That's the only thing. Not to make decisions during that time, positive or negative. It doesn't matter.
Just sit with it, and it'll pass. It'll pass. It always does. And if you make a decision, sometimes that decision could be, well, this is clearly how it is, and I have to act because this is my new normal. But if you just sit there, feel it for a little bit, it will pass, and then you can actually move on to your next stage to make decisions from a good place. So you mentioned kind of how you bring your clients into finding their, to bringing this energy to them and working it out, finding their marketing through their energy. How can we do that? So if someone's watching right now and they're like, okay, I'm hearing this, I'm liking this. And I think a lot of people are going to like this, because they're like, I think a lot of us get tired and fed up or confused with the barrage of ads and people who are wanting to sell us answers. And if anything, I know from my own past, you start to just doubt everything about yourself. You're like, well, maybe the reason I haven't succeeded was I didn't have this guy's method, or I didn't have that blueprint, or I was supposed to do this magic funnel. And all the marketing is there coming to us. And as we're trying to figure out our own marketing. And so anything that might feel right or feel authentic, we're not getting the results, right away or at all. And so we start to question, maybe those people have answers that I need. So how do you bring your clients into kind of, I guess, finding their place and using that energy to create something that feels right?
So I am a certified Energy Leadership Index assessment, master practitioner. So it is an assessment created by IPAC, the institute of, the coaching I went to. It's a Bruce D. Snyder, who he put 25 years of research into it. And what I love about it is very objective. I've taken so many assessments. I just did my human design, and I did disc, my disc personality and all of it. But I almost feel like there's a box I put around me when I do this. Like I am this person. What I love about it, this is energy assessment. It doesn't put me in any box. It says these are 7 energy and you're moving in and out of these energies. Okay. And these are your prominent levels and these are your, less. And now, are they serving you right in your life? And you can see so many so-called outdated beliefs just by looking at your results, like where you're stuck, where it's, and once you know we're stuck, it's a simple solution is how do we shift our energy to a place where it is serving us. So I always start with that, like let's just do an energy assessment and see where you are energetically. And then, I have tons of tools on my website. So there's an audit tool I use. I've created a whole marketing audit tool. So you can't move where you want to go till you know where you are. It's like dropping your pin on a Google map, right? So let's just audit your full business, and it's free. They can download it and they can do it on their own. Everybody can do it on their own. So, it really breaks down marketing segment by segment by segment and say, do you have this or not? Again, it's very yes and no. So like, don't get caught up into, oh, I need to have this or rationalize it or write big sentences. Like it's not meant for that. It's okay not to have it, You don't have to know
where you're at.
But just know. And then, I sit with them and say, okay, do you really, some of the things they have, they don't need it. So first is like eliminate all of the things you don't need, right? So
sometimes someone has every single social media account. Like I've seen that and they're like, well, I have this blog. I have 4 blog places. I don't really blog though. And my Twitter, but I haven't tweeted in a while. And you're like, do you even like Twitter? And they're like, no. And you're like, don't have the Twitter then. It's okay.
You got it. Because there's so much pressure we have. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do that. And, everybody, and you open the account and you have systems which you never use. Like if you're not using it, if you haven't used it in 6 months or a year, it's not serving. So right there, you can cut out a lot of things. And, you come down to things which you absolutely need. Another thing is a lot of things we talk about outsourcing. And I'm a big fan of outsourcing, but also you need to know, is it worth outsourcing? I mean, first of all, do you really need that in your business? Sometimes we outsource what we don't need. So like, I think
you're like outsourcing my Twitter, like, and I don't mean to pick on Twitter, guys. That's me. Like I don't tweet. I used to have it many years ago. It was like, that's what you have to do. I was young, I was learning. And I eventually remember finally going, I just don't want to tweet. I don't want to. And so before I realized that, I had like, way back when like you used to, the services to post to social media for you were like really brand new, they would just kind of post the same thing everywhere. And so I would like do that and it was like clearly not working. And there's a million reasons we can go into why that doesn't work, but most that doesn't work. And so eventually I was like, why am I sharing? It was because one time somewhere when I was 20, someone was like, that's what you do. And it's not. It doesn't have to. So
it doesn't have to. So that's a great base. Audit your business, and then the next thing we do is 80-20 rule, right?
Love this. Yes.
80-20 rule is one of the, because you know that, right? 80% of your business is going to come from 20% things you do.
Yes. Listen to that, guys. 80% of your business like results, whether that's income, customers, whatever the thing is, sales, is going to come from 20% of your effort. So that means on 100% pie, 80% of what you're doing is diddly squat helping your business. It's only 20% that's actually producing the majority of your results. Like that is, it's such, and this is a principle, Pareto principle. If it's the first time you're hearing this, this is been around for a long time and it works in all kinds of circumstances. It's one of those weird phenomena type of rules. So go read about it. But this is something really, really to take to heart. So you were saying.
Yeah, no, that rule applies to life too.
Yeah.
You're going to love 20% things about your spouse, your partner, 80% you're going to hate, but the 20% is what you stay in.
Right. The 20% is what produces enough results for you to stick it out and go, yeah, I guess that's worth it.
So it's in everything we do in life, okay? You're going to go to grocery shopping, 20% you're going to buy what you truly need. 80% is all crap because they look good, because we want to buy it, okay?
Well, was marketing right?
So that's, it's like it's a very good thing to think about and learn more about it. So I have a tool again. I kind of go through with them, with my clients. And again, that is available. You can do it on your own on my website. It's called #1 time management tool for entrepreneurs, because I really, again, I keep saying manage your energy, not time. I hear entrepreneurs say, I don't have time, I don't have time. And I look at like president of USA, he's doing so much, right? Or these big CEOs, they spend time with the family and they still run. I still remember at Cigna, the CEO of Cigna, when I worked, every morning he ran. I mean, if he could run, why could I not do it? Like you get it? Like he still spent time with his family. He took vacations, he did things. So I almost feel like we love this whole thing of busyness. We just are so programmed. If you're not busy, you're not doing enough. You're not.
Right.
I say and I was exactly same. Exactly. So manage your time, don't manage your time, manage your energy, and really do it again from a place which really gives you joy. Have fun more, like really have, I call this, I say, I help entrepreneurs master the game of marketing. I really make it fun. It's just a fun thing to do. It's so much fun if you truly kind of start to get your message out there. You love it. You're really enjoying. So that's what it is. And I just want to tell a story a little bit here. So my brother, he's about 50 now. He was 18 when he decided he's going to do a business, and he decided he's not going to work more than 10 hours a week, like literally, maybe less. He said, this is exactly how I want. And I was, child, I didn't, it was normal for me. But like when I started my business, and I'm like, how did you, like, it's not even possible. You have to work 20 hours. And he just laughed at me. He didn't say anything. If that's your rodeo, go for it. But he literally never worked. Like he was all around. He was always home. And he is really doing well. And he still doesn't do work. Like when I go to India, he'll take 2 weeks off. Like he'll go maybe one day to work for 5 hours. So basic lesson is you can create anything you want, the way you want your business to look like. You got to decide. Okay. Don't listen to anybody who's saying that you have to work 60 hours or 80 hours, unless you absolutely love that. I've seen some entrepreneurs who love work is their life. The 60 hours gives them so much energy and joy, then go for it. But if you're just hustling and doing this and doing that and every single thing, and it's exhausting and you're not really enjoying, then don't do it.
Right. Because a lot of it is probably that 80% that's not bringing the results anyway.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes down to that essentialism. And I think that's such a important thing to mention, as we're talking about the energy of the way this feels and the marketing and the effort, is that, if that's a small amount is what's bringing the results, and the rest of it is putting us into an energetic space that doesn't feel good, that this feels draining, that's all of these things, then we're not serving our business. We're not growing our business. And of course we think we have to work more or do more, because most of what we're doing isn't helping us anyway. But if we pull back, if we say, I am only going to work 10 hours, then there's also going to be a thing about making sure we're only working on that 20% that brings the results. We start to really shave down what's essential. There's actually a guy named Ari Maisel, and he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. He was a labor guy. I think he did construction or something like that. So he was a big, tough, kind of strong man. He got to a point in Crohn's disease where he was so debilitated that he only had 1 hour a day that he felt normal. He had any energy. And so he knew every day he was going to have about 1 hour. And so he had to make that hour the most productive hour possible. And so he started really kind of learning different hacks, outsourcing, like just all these different tips, because he was like, I got to maximize this 1 hour before my body just is done. And he has since recovered, and guess he now teaches about productivity and all these different things to do. But I think that's really kind of what we come down to, is if we make these decisions, like your brother made a decision that this is the energy space I want to live in, there will be a way. You will find a way. And a lot of times that way comes down to what's essential. And I think as we transition that back into marketing, it's the same thing. We start to shave down what's essential and get rid of all of that fluff. One of my favorite authors, specifically in marketing, is Seth Godin. And yes. Seth Godin you don't see him, like, he has an Instagram and I don't think he uses it at all. I think his team probably set it up and there's like nothing there. Like occasional ad might come through when they have something doing. His approach, if you ever have seen, if you guys don't know Seth Godin, go check him out. But if you ever get a sales email from Seth Godin, it's very much like, we're doing this thing. It could be helpful for you. If this is the right time for you, check it out. And it's like, so just like, it's good if it could be, if it's for you. And I think the conventional marketer would point out a million things that are wrong with that and point out a million things that we're not using the psychological thing, where there's not scarcity. You're not doing a countdown. There should be a launch and about 3 emails. And like, there's a whole psychological process that can work. This is the method. This is the hack, right? The blueprints that are out there. But one of the most successful people out there, I forget how many books he's written, you can see his approach is very authentically him. He doesn't do that. He doesn't show up. And I know when I get a Seth Godin email, I don't feel pressure to make a decision when he has a sale. And I can just go, oh, maybe that is for me, or maybe it's not. And then I'm okay with that. And it's such a wonderful feeling, I think, mutually, that he comes in to say how he feels. He's not stressing everyone out. I, on a receiving end, don't feel stressed out as a potential customer. And I have bought stuff. Like I have, like, honestly, because I feel good when those sales, and who can say that? I feel good when that sales email comes to my inbox. Like, isn't that the feeling that you want to bring as an entrepreneur and in marketing, that someone sees your offer and they're like, that feels nice.
Yes.
You know, that's such a
totally. Oh, God, I love that, because, you have to start with the model, right? So-called blueprint, follow it. But then at the end of the day, that's what will tell you whether you're resonating with that or not. So
yes,
I did the same. So since I started my business, I started with this kitchen, community kitchen. Then I moved on to marketing consulting. Then I decided, it's going to be mindset and marketing. So it's been 2 years. I'm already changing my message to marketing energy coach, because I really, and it's okay. I'm still keeping the integrity of who I always wanted to be. But it's the way it's shifting, it's always moving, and you just roll with it. This thing, and I work with my clients. Some of them need full calendar. They need this plan, okay, and that's okay. But I personally get up every morning and I meditate and I say, what do I need to do today? Tell me.
wow.
So maybe that's the day I may post, or so my posts are never created, well in advance. They're literally the same day I do it. If I want to shoot a video, I'll it's on that day I'm going to do something, create something and post it. So it's not a long process for me. I don't do any email marketing as of today, because I just don't feel the need yet, maybe tomorrow it will change. I'm only on Instagram and LinkedIn. I don't have even a business Facebook page. So there are a lot of things. You just have to learn about yourself and see what's resonating. I did do all this planning at the beginning of my business, monthly calendar, but that was not me. By the time Wednesday came, from the last Wednesday, I wanted to do something different about my post, because I'm in a different energetic space. So learn about it. You want to start with what everybody's saying, follow those blueprints. I do that too with my clients, because I really don't know what will resonate till we work together. And then as we move, we say, okay, you know what, this is not working. Let's just not worry about it. Maybe do a different way. So just sit and, business is fun. Experience everything in your business. And it's such a great way to live a life which is fully aligned with your own values. A business can give you that opportunity to create that. Sometimes when we're working for someone, we don't have that. We still have to do the things because that's what somebody's paying us to do. Nobody's paying you to do anything here. You decide
Sometimes not by design, but nobody's paying you to do anything.
Yeah. So, like Seth Godin, be that person. There's no pressure. There's nothing, But if you're really good at sales and you like that tactic, it works for you.
Right. Because then we can shift over to someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, guys. And again, if you're not familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, he's very in your face. He is like, and that absolutely resonates. But you can also see that is 100% him. He's not following a hack. He's just like, he's the kind who's going to kick you in the butt, tell you to get off your butt, and and go get some work done, you know, and he comes across that way, and he may say, hey, make a decision, come here, buy the thing or don't buy the thing. And you're like, and like, there's some people who absolutely need that. And you will see by the following, the millions of people that follow him, that it absolutely resonates. But the difference is, and I think like you said in the beginning, is that it is authentically him. He has found that that is him, as opposed to following some, method or something. And like you just said, Prati, it doesn't mean that we can't start somewhere. And I think Marie Forleo said this once, is that or maybe it was Amy Porterfield, one of those gals, she said, you start with something, go ahead and copy the greats, the people who perhaps are offering blueprints, like Marie Forleo, she has B School and these different things. And once you do that, then you can see what you want to adjust. But giving yourself that space and that permission is so important, because I think if we go into it and go, well, I have to do it to the T because I want to have this level of success, the truth is they're still not you. Your audience is still slightly different. Everyone has that niche, whether you know what it is or not. Your audience that starts to gravitate towards you is a niche. And so there's going to be adjustments. So yes, it's okay to start somewhere. That's the only way you'll start to know what you want and what you like and what resonates with you. But that's, I think, also the other key point is to know that you need to be aware and pay attention to what resonates and what is important to you. Otherwise, we just get stuck and go, I just have to follow it because that's just the blueprint. That's what it is. And we find ourselves miserable, and we go, well, it doesn't matter that I'm miserable because this is the way it's supposed to work. And I think what Prati's saying is giving you guys permission to say, no, it doesn't. And it's okay to shift and to, pivot as you go through that, as long as it's coming from a place of knowledge and not fear, and knowing what your energy is. And so, so to come back to where we were, as you were saying with your clients, you start with this energy assessment. And guys, if that's new to you, again, it's ELI, is that what it's called? Right?
Yeah. Energy Leadership Index Assessment. Yeah,
so Energy Leadership Index Assessment. I have a coach, guys, and my coach has done that assessment on me as well. And so that whole thing is about, just where, like she said, it doesn't put you in a box of like a personality test, which is a whole other thing that we could talk about, how I feel about those. But it's much different about seeing how you flow in and out from different energies that you are, how you react in different situations, and how you may go to a very low energy when something happens, where you exist at a high energy, where you are. And it gives an idea of kind of how you function and deal with things, which would help someone like Prati understand what could work with you, and help you understand even how you act and how you rely on things. And so it's more a real knowledge point to start at. And then from there, it sounds like you look at the business. You go, okay, so now that we figured out where you're at, let's look at where your business is at, what it has, doesn't have, and not that it matters what you have or doesn't have. We just need to know. And this goes like any directions, like you said, to pointing that point on the Google map. You can't get Google directions if you don't have a starting point. They can't tell you where you're going if they don't know where you're coming from. So being able to take that moment to go, where am I? What do I really have? And then from there, then you look at the 80-20.
Yeah, 80-20.
What part of it's really essential, what's actually really working for them. And then where do we go from there as we're trying to move into our marketing in this new way?
Then we start playing with marketing plans. Then we start to say, all right, let's create this content. Let's do this. Let's do that. And marketing
at this point, we started to find out what you like.
Yes.
Right? So we might find out like I really like video, and that's why my YouTube's full, but I don't like Twitter, so that's why I have no tweeting. And so Prati might go, well, let's look at some video then. Let's look at doing more of that. Let's do that. Let's cancel Twitter right now. And now we're going to go over here. So from there, you start to just hone in on the things that you've learned from them and put them directly into that lane. So
exactly.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a very pressure, like here's a full plan, you got to do it all and go perform it. It's more of really honing in on who they are and then testing. And that's really marketing too. It's testing that out. There is no, I'm a big kind of anti-blueprint person, because again, I just say, just because it worked for you, it doesn't mean anything. So I know there's a lot out there, and I think there are people who have methods perhaps, and those methods can still be very adaptable to who you are. Ramit Sethi's a very one I like a lot, and he gives a lot of principles of information, and then of course you adapt it to yourself. But there are some other people out there who sell things and go, this is step one, you do this, then you like, here's my exact script and my exact thing, and you just follow it to a T and you'll have the 6 figures. I have a hard time respecting that, because again, we are not them. And when you show up that way inauthentically and you're doing that, you're really not connecting with your audience. You're really not showing up for them. You're just instituting a hack. You're like outsourcing the wrong thing. You're outsourcing yourself and your brand and your person of how you interact. A sale is a very kind of intimate thing in a way, you know, like to make that sale, there's such a, like, there's an energy transaction, there's the investment that they're making in themselves. And if you're bypassing that to some scripts and some things that, you know, somebody sold you in a big, nice bow, I find that hard. So I really love this approach. I love this idea of it being, you know, really knowing yourself before you jump into a marketing plan.
Yeah, it's very fluid, you know, and then, yeah, and you said, you know, this whole niching business, and, you know, there's so many noise, man, you know, just
yeah, it's a lot.
Do what you love. Yeah. Niching, if you are not able to figure out, you know, who is perfectly narrowed down, do everything you can, and then you'll figure out.
Yeah, and like I said, it'll start to narrow itself down for you. It'll start to show up for you. And like you said, Prati, you know, you started in general, it was kind of marketing because that was your area of expertise. You're like, this is what I do. And as you started going through that, you narrowed it down. You're like, I'm really more into this mindset thing. And then from your mindset, you're like, I'm actually even more niche than that. I'm really focusing on the energy of that. But if somebody had forced you to try to figure out that decision 2 years ago, you probably would have chosen something out of fear. Like, I don't know, I'm for female entrepreneurs that are 36 and a half and live in, you know, Montana. You're like, I don't know, you know, and now you're focusing over here because you were pushed. But sometimes, guys, it is just about feeling it. And I know that may not be what a lot of you may have showed up for, to be like, I'm just feeling it. I wanted the direct hacks, but isn't that such a relief in this time right now too? I mean, as we're going through this situation and this uncertainty, there's got to be a level of relief to say it's okay to just do what feels right to you. Of course, there are some principles. Yes, there are some tools. There are some things. There's psychology, but you can learn and understand that. But that doesn't mean you have to have a certain hack. This psychology and buying mindset or buyer's journey doesn't automatically mean Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. It can just help you understand, and then you can still go with what's inside of you, right?
Totally. I mean, if you are totally resonating with this one place, trust me, all your clients will come. They will come to you. They will ask you for. It's such a beautiful thing when you go from a place of love than a fear, you know, in life. So stay grounded. It's, you know, marketing is business is fun. Marketing is fun, and if, like you said, how do you even know that it's not working for you? Well, when you feel pressured, and there's a thought of you making you balk at it and say, oh my God, like I have to, like, if you're not enjoying it,
that's a sign.
It's not for you. Don't do that.
And I think that's so hard because we've been told for so long that the hustle and the grind is just part of it, that the sleepless nights are part of it. There's so much that I used to talk about when I first got into this realm, because I would see it over and over, and it was so disheartening for me to see and come with clients who would just be going, I'm spinning their wheels because they're trying to do it all, and just accepting that, you know, almost losing their family and losing their health to make the business work was just part of it. There's a belief, right, that's really been fed to us that is it. And what you're saying is, if it stops being fun, we're on the wrong track.
Totally. Yeah, no, totally. This is how it is, you know. And, you know, and that's actually, I have a question for you, Tanya.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody can answer that question. So, you know, we're all doing because we want money, we want this, we want that, you know, whatever it is. Let's say everything you want in your business happened right away. How would it feel?
Ooh, probably overwhelming, and probably a good chunk percentage of it, I would have changed my mind that I didn't want to do that anyway. Like have some of the ideas that I had like 10 years ago, or, you know, something, and then if they were all happen at once, and I'd probably still be maintaining it and doing it and be like, I don't even like this. Why am I doing this? Some of those ideas. So yeah, I think it would felt crazy.
Beautiful answer. And that's what exactly. So what we are doing is just experiencing of that how we create. Imagine I wanted a kid and it just popped out of me tomorrow.
Ooh.
Like it's, but in business, that's what we want.
Right. Oh my gosh.
We think that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
You want to think, and then things has to happen like right. And if it doesn't happen, it's like,
I'm
oh
doing
my God,
wrong.
like it
Yeah.
takes 9 months to birth a child. Like we're okay with that. So
Yeah.
anything.
And there's a big mental transition that happens in those 9 months, right? Those oh my God, I love this analogy here. So like that preparation, that thought, the slowly buying things, you know, learning a little bit, getting ready for this new stage in your life. And just like business, when it does happen, no matter how much you did in those 9 months, you're not fully prepared.
Right?
And you're always going to shift and learn. Oh my, I love this analogy, guys. This is a good one.
So that's exactly, I think, let people, so enjoy the journey, enjoy the experience. I think the more we enjoy it, more we're going to have, the most, like, you know, your child would be loved with all our heart. And that's what your business is exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people call it their baby. So really take that to heart. Well, I love this so much. Thank you so much, Prati. Before we wrap up here, can you tell everyone where they can find you, how to work with you, and if you have anything else going on that you want to share?
Sure. So I have on my website is www.prati, as in Paul. I'm sure you will put the line, you know, so pratikaufman.com. I'm on Instagram with the same @Prati Kaufman, LinkedIn @Prati Kaufman. My email is prati@pratikaufman.com. Everything is pretty easy, right. And I'm sure Tanya will put it all out. Reach out to me. You know, if you are looking to start a business really quickly, I have an amazing web design. I can help you. Again, I don't do the work. I have a good, really amazing team to help you because I am a planner. I'm a strategist. I'm not good with execution part, so I have a whole team to support you guys. Come, you know, just chat with me if you are interested in learning about energy, anything. And the best part, go to my website under resource. You have all these free tools, which I talked about. Download and use it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That is such a great way to get started. So then you can use that. You can step your feet into it, and then you know where you're at, and you're like, now I know I need to get a hold of Prati and say, okay, I've looked at this. Let's start moving. I know what I'm doing next. Well, I love that. So thank you again. And this has been awesome. You guys make sure to go and connect with Prati. She always has great tips, resources for your mind, body, and business. You know, her background is amazingly varied and really perfectly comes together for her path right now. So if you follow her, you'll see there's everywhere from, you know, reminding you to take time and relax and do some yoga to marketing tips and great questions to ask yourself. She knows, she just put a post up the other day that had like 5 questions that I was like, oh, these are amazing. So definitely connect with her and follow her. So again, thank you. And thank you all for showing up to create your best life and business. And as you know, this summit is free. So if you enjoyed what you learned here today, we would love your appreciation in the form of shares, likes, comments, and follows. And if you haven't already, please check out our weekly show, My Design Life, where we test methods and habits to live a life you love. You can connect with me at Tanya MFK and at My Design Life Show on Facebook and Instagram, and learn more about our workshops, courses, and coaching at TanyaMFK.com. So remember, your someday starts today. Make it the best. I'm Tanya MFK, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome to My Designed Life.